Hi, I'm Bill Miro, and I'm a music teacher, and I teach at Ridgeway School here in White Plains. When I was growing up in my elementary school, we didn't have a music class. So when I heard a lot of stories, a lot of times, because I felt musical, I would hear instruments in the background that might be able to accompany the story. So I'm going to read a story that I do at my school called Jack and the Beanstalk. And in this story, there's an instrument part that goes along with each of the characters. The part of Jack is an instrument called the ukulele, and that's right here. And when Jack comes on, you can hear the ukulele. He has a pet rabbit named Benji, and the part of Benji is played by the sleigh bells. There's a cow in the story. If you know the story, you know that Jack has to go off and sell the cow to get some money, and the part of the cow is played by the cowbell. On the way to selling the cow, he runs into a strange man, and that's played by this instrument, a slide whistle. Jack has a mother, and this instrument from Africa plays the part of the mother. The part of the gold and silver is played by a metallophone. When he finds the bean, the magic bean, and the harp in the story are played by the auto harp. The goose that lays the golden egg later in the story is a kazoo. The part of the mean giant is played by the drum. And when the giant falls down with a terrible crash, that instrument is the crash cymbals. So here's the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Once, a poor little boy named Jack lived with his mother in a run-down shack. All they had was a cow so thin she had no milk, just bones and skin. Mother said, "We're so poor now. Jack, you'll have to sell our cow. Trade her for a bag of gold. Then come home when she is sold." So Jack went off to make the swap, and right beside him, hippity-hop, Benji the bunny, wiggling his tail, came to see the result of the sale. Jack and his mother were poor. He had to sell the cow. Their journey to the market just barely began when there on the road stood a strange little man. As they went past him, Jack heard him say, "Today, little lad, is your lucky day. I know that your cow is old and lean, but give her to me and I'll give you a bean." Jack said, "Sir, I don't see how one bean is worth as much as a cow." The man said, "It's magic. I tell you no lie. Plant this one bean, it'll grow to the sky." "Magic," cried Jack. "Won't mother be proud when she sees my beanstalk grow up through a cloud?" So Jack traded the cow for a magic bean. Jack ran home just as fast as he could. And when he got there, his mother said, "Good. I can see that you've sold the cow. Give me the gold, I'll count it out now." "Mother," said Jack, "just see my surprise, a bean that will grow to a wonderful size." "A bean?" cried his mother. "It's magic," cried Jack. "You fool!" cried his mother, and gave him a smack. That was a hard smack. She tossed the bean in the garden and said, "There's no bread for supper, so just go to bed." Alone in his bed, Jack started to weep and hugged Benji tight as he went to sleep. Jack's mother did not want a bean. She threw it in the garden. When Jack woke up, what did he see? But 10 times as tall as a very tall tree, a beanstalk that grew and just didn't stop. "Oh, Benji," cried Jack, "let us climb to the top." So up they both climbed, up higher than high, till they came to a land on top of the sky. Not far away in that magical land stood a palace, all silver and golden and grand. A tall, tall beanstalk grew in the garden. Jack went all the way up. A palace was at the top. A mean giant lived there. Jack hurried up to the palace and knocked. And to his surprise, the door came unlocked. A very tall woman invited them in and showed them the stolen treasure within. "I'm the wife of the giant," the woman told Jack. "You better be gone before he gets back. If he catches you here in his palace," she said, "he'll roast you and toast you and eat you on bread. He guards all his treasures with Bubbles the cat. And Bubbles means troubles, I'll guarantee that." Then all of a sudden she listened and cried, "The giant is coming, you both better hide." The giant came home. Jack hid in a bin. Jack and Benji both jumped in a bin, just as the giant and Bubbles came in. "Fee-fi!" roared the giant. "Full thumb, what is that?" "It's a boy and a bunny," cried Bubbles the cat. "That's yesterday's dinner you smell," said the wife. "It's a boy," cried the giant. "Bring me my knife." "Be calm," said the wife. "Take some gold in your lap. Count it all out and then take a nap." "All right," cried the giant. "Bring me my gold." So she brought him as much as 2 big bags would hold. He counted it out in a great golden heap. And Benji and Jack never let out a peep. Then the giant and Bubbles both fell asleep. The giant counted his gold. Then he fell asleep. "Oh, Benji," Jack whispered, "do you think we could take that gold from my mother before he's awake?" "I'm sure you can do it," said Benji. "Just try it. Go on your tiptoes and be very quiet." So up to the giant went brave little Jack. He scooped up the gold and hurried right back. While Benji held open the door to the bin, Jack tossed him the gold and hurried back in. Jack took the gold. The giant woke up and said, "Fee, fi, fo, fum. Where is that boy smell coming from?" "What you smell," said his wife, "is some old bacon juice. Here's something much better, your magical goose." So the giant just tickled the goose on the leg, and she honked, "Ah!" as she laid him a great golden egg. The giant had a magic goose. It laid golden eggs. "Oh, Benji," Jack whispered, "why don't we creep out of the bin when the giant's asleep?" "As soon," Benji said, "as his snoring is heard, I'll grab the gold egg while you run with the bird." Before very long, what do you suppose? That scary old giant started to doze. Then they grabbed the goose and golden egg and managed to climb back in the bin in the slick nick of time. Jack took the goose. Then Bubbles woke up, meowing and hissing, and called to the giant, "Your treasure is missing. There's somebody here. You best take a look. Perhaps it's a boy we could bake, broil, or cook." The giant stood up and said, "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I'll find him and grind him down under me thumb." "What you smell," said his wife, "is an old chicken wing. Let me bring you your magical harp that can sing." So she brought him the harp, and it played such a song that they all were asleep before very long. The giant had a magic harp. It sang songs. Then Benji and Jack didn't wait anymore. Grabbing gold, goose, and harp, they ran out the door. The goose honked. The gold clinked. And the harp sang a song. And they all reached the beanstalk before very long. Jack took the harp and the gold and goose. He ran to the beanstalk. As Benji and Jack heaved a sigh of relief, the giant came running and roaring, "Stop, thief!" Down the beanstalk stood Benji and Jack as they felt the giant's hot breath on their back. Down, 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 sliding furiously fast till they reached the bottom and safety at last. Jack went down the beanstalk. The giant went after him. Then Jack took an axe that was lying nearby and chopped till the beanstalk fell out of the sky. The giant fell down with a terrible crash. And the beanstalk caught fire and burned to an ash. Then Benji and Jack hurried home to their shack, and Mother came out and hugged and kissed Jack. "Oh, Mother," cried Jack, "just look what I brought." And I ran from the giant and didn't get caught. Here's a harp and a goose and 2 bags of gold. Now, aren't you glad the cow has been sold? "I'm proud," said his mother, "of all you have done. But mostly I'm happy to see you, dear son." Then Jack and his mother enjoyed all the gold and the harp sang the story about the cow that was sold. Jack cut down the beanstalk. Mother was proud of Jack. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. I'd like to wish everybody a good night. Make sure you give everybody a hug for me before you go to bed, and make sure you turn off all the lights before you go to sleep.